Good evening, good evening, good evening. I had a post today that I put out about oil pulling and using my essential oils when I do that every morning. And I have had quite a few responses talking about what is oil pulling? I've never heard of that and what are the benefits of it. So here I am just helping you with a couple of pointers if you've never ever done this before. So first off is what type of oil do you use? So I'm a big fan of using organic coconut oil. So the cooking type. So you can see this is a solid one. And if you are in a colder climate, it's definitely going to be solid. So when you take it out, you could either heat it up before you use it to make it liquid, or if you're hardcore like I am, you would just take it straight out of there, add a drop, and then put it in your mouth, and it will dissolve and liquefy into your mouth. If it's summer and it's a little bit more liquid, well, then you easily can put it in like that. So I said I take about a teaspoon, and that's if it's solid, because as I pull it out, it's going to be a little bit chunkier. If it's liquid, I'm going to use about a tablespoon, just so that I've got a little bit more to be able to swirl around in the mouth. So what is oil pulling? Well, it comes really from ancient practices like the Ayurvedic type of practicing. Now, if we think about the health of our body and where our immune system lives is really within the gut. Now, the very first entry point to our gut is into our mouth. So there are so many bacteria that live in our mouth. Some of them are good and some of them are not as good. So if we can do anything to support the health of our mouth before it travels down to the gut, well, then we're giving ourselves an incredible immune boost. Now, we know that essential oils also help and contribute to good immune function. So adding those essential oils is going to just improve everything that you're doing. So, hey, Michelle, nice to see you. When we do the oil pulling, you literally put it into your mouth and you swirl it around, swishing it around. I'll just give you like a, like as though you were doing a mouthwash. Becomes a little bit therapeutic after a while, but it might take you a few goes before you can actually enjoy the process. Now, I didn't have a problem, but I know that some people really can't do it and they get a bit of a gag reflex. So, if it's not for you, I wouldn't suggest trying to force yourself into doing something that you're just really not going to cope with. The benefits are incredible, but if you can't get over doing it, then really there is no point. There are other ways of looking after oral health. That's tip number one. So as you swirl it around, it really needs to swirl for about 10 to 20 minutes. So like I said, I usually do this, put it into my mouth just before I jump into the shower, and then I do my entire shower routine, everything else that I can do without then disrupting my mouth. And it usually takes about 20 minutes, and then I spit it out and then brush my teeth straight away with my toothpaste. You're welcome, Belinda. So those are really it. If you live in a really cold climate where, sometimes the pipes can freeze over winter, my suggestion, number 2 tip, is to spit out into a container that you can throw the oil away, because there's nothing worse than having your pipes clogged up with solidified coconut oil in them. So that could be an expensive habit. What else did I want to say? Some of the benefits of the oil pulling. Well, it's definitely great for your oral health. But why? Is because it's going to eliminate things like bad breath. So anytime I eat garlic, for some reason, it just doesn't gel with my body that well. So if I've had a heavy meal out where I've had no control over what went into the ingredients, I come home and I do a gargling, an oil pulling before I go to bed. And then, of course, I then continue. I do it every morning. So that's the one thing. It helps with minimizing things like gingivitis, which is also part of bad breath. And it helps with tooth decay. So I went to the dentist about 7 years ago, and I had x-rays done of my teeth. And then I went recently, only about 2 months ago, and those x-rays look almost identical. So, I have maintained that health of my gums, besides, of course, flossing and brushing teeth as normal as part of any normal oral health plan. But I know that the oil pulling has definitely helped too. The other thing, as I said, it's going to help with your immune system, making sure that you're not getting bad things coming down through your system. There are even reports, I mean, if you just quickly Googled, top tips or benefits for oil pulling, you'll see things like it helps with pain reduction, it helps with menstrual cycle, it helps with sleep. Like, you're not really sure how they're all tied together. But again, I'm just going to go and say anything that is super toxic is always going to be detrimental to something else. So if you're removing toxins out of your body, you're going to be improving all of those systems along the way. Just like if you remove the toxins out of your cleaning, like your washing powders and your surface sprays, and replace it with natural products or essential oils and that kind of thing, you're going to be minimizing the toxic load on your system. So I hope that was beneficial. I hope that was useful for those of you that wanted to know just a little bit more. Of course, Google is an amazing place to find out even more about it, but really give it a go. What have you got to lose? You've only got everything to gain. Yep, like I said, plenty of different oils that you can use, but I would just make one suggestion on the doTERRA oils. Of course, we know they're 100% pure. I would not use any other type of oil internally. But make sure that on the label it does say for internal use. So you don't want to be putting like an ice blue or a deep blue or something into your mouth like that. That would just be silly. So make sure that it's for food flavoring and internal use, and you should be good. Please feel free to write a comment below if one, you use oil pulling as part of your regime already, or two, if you're going to do it, now adding a bit of essential oils. Or if you already do it, what oils are your favorite ones to use? Okay, well, I hope you have a good evening, everybody, and be in touch soon. Bye.